Hello, my name is Jron Barber, and I'm here to give you information on sweatshops. Sweatshops are factories in which workers perform manual labor at low pay and endure long hours in order to produce manufactured goods. These factories are implemented to allow the mass production of a company's product in order to save money while simultaneously paying workers unfavorably low wages. There are many industries that have been subject to numerous instances in which workers' rights were neglected, as well as impacting the overall welfare of their health and lives. These acts of unfair treatment in the workforce have been shown to occur at popular establishment factories such as the Foxconn Apple factory. These inhumane acts towards workers violate various judicial labor laws. The Foxconn factory and other major factories in China conflict with the country's labor laws and willfully ignore the principles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights through their strict economic principles, harsh living conditions, and their constant threats to workers' lives and safety. Now, first, the factories mentioned violate the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by appointing extreme minimal amounts of pay per hour that do not reflect the amount of money a person working in this sector should be earning. Article 23 of the UDHR states that everyone has the right to equal pay for equal work. The factories violate this principle in many aspects. For starters, all factory workers in China are performing the same vigorous task, yet workers are getting paid differently according to the location of their job. The issue with this is that workers are getting paid wages that are below the expected amount they should be receiving. For example, Shanghai's minimum wage for full-time employees is roughly $165 a month. However, in the poor inland cities of Chongqing, the minimum wage is $130. The workers at both factories perform the same task, therefore they should be equally paid as stated in Article 23. These workers are told little about their rights and therefore are being forced to work numerous hours with little pay. Anita Chan on the impact of the state on workers' conditions, comparing Taiwanese factories in China and Vietnam states, notably, two Chinese immigrant workers tend to have no awareness of their legal rights. In the 2001 sample survey, 90 out of the 92 workers did not know the legal minimum wage, and 95% did not know the maximum legal number of work hours. In interviewing that, we conducted with 16 workers from different sections of a Hong Kong-owned toy factory in Dongguan City in March 2002. Only one worker claimed awareness of the maximum number of legal work hours. 3 answered they know a little, and 12 answered they do not know. In this case, you can vividly see that employers are discriminating against migrant workers who lack knowledge about labor laws. The factory staff is taking advantage of the immigrant workers by not letting them know their rights. This goes against the labor laws because workers cannot see that their employer is maintaining their rights if that individual does not know them. Next is the implementation of cramped living spaces, causing harsh living conditions in and around sweatshop factories, which goes against the UDHR. Article 5 of the UDHR states that no one shall be subject to torture or to cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. However, according to Amy Lee in her article in the Huffington Post, Inside Foxconn's Factory, report exposes conditions at Apple manufacturer. On the way to the Foxconn sweatshops, facility workers are transported on a bus that is crammed with 70 people who all have to stand the entire way to work. The dorms have been reported to be cramped and unpleasant, and reports have shown that 30 workers sharing a 3-bedroom apartment. These show vivid signs of cruel, inhumane treatment, which goes against Article 5. Next, the restriction of workers' movements and use of household items has caused a form of modern-day slavery. Article 4 states, no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. However, while in the dorms, workers are also not permitted to use hair dryers or electric kettles. Factories indicate in their contract with the workers that they are signing up for voluntary overtime hours. What the factories have done is taken this to the extreme, and workers are seen working 80 to 100 hours of overtime, which is grossly over the legal limit. Anita Chan states, in China, we had to work much longer, sometimes until 1 or 2 a.m. next morning. We still had to get up early at 6 a.m. to continue to work. This is a form of enslavement, because workers are forced to stay and work when they are not required to. Finally, the factors threaten the lives and safety of workers through toxins, pollution, and severe abuse. Article 23 states that everyone has the right to work in just and favorable working conditions. A report illustrates a woman who at the Foxconn facility has a job to remove extra glue from iPad cases. What she didn't know is the iPad cases were toxic and gave her various red rashes. Amy Lee states in a different department the workers are surrounded by aluminum dust which completely covers their hands, nose, and faces. This isn't healthy for the workers and in the long run can cause complications with the workers' lungs. Factory workers are seen being abused and often subject to cruelty if the assigned jobs are not done well. Chan states, when we began our operations in China, we frequently resorted to punishment. Physical punishments were very common, including even hidden, like in the military. The management system honestly believes that if you do not implement physical force, then the productivity of the workers will decrease. As a result of neglect to the workers' basic rights, there have been several instances of workers committing suicide due to the harsh working conditions. For example, in 2010, a cluster of suicides at the electronics manufacturing giant Foxconn Technology Group sparked worldwide outcry about working conditions at its factory in China. Within a few short months, 14 young migrant workers jumped to their deaths from buildings on the Foxconn campus, an all-encompassing compound where they had worked, eaten, and slept. This comes from Tara J. and Martin Calkins in the Journal of Business Ethics. In conclusion, we gave reviews how sweatshops willfully ignore the principles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights through their strict economic principles, harsh living conditions, and their constant threats to workers' lives and safety. Thank you.